Do you know that I was actually told that some of our games last weekend actually had more turnout than the men's games in the
Than the
JPL?
JPL? Oh,
Absolutely.
so just for clarity, you mentioned earlier, so the girls are not being paid. Are there any clubs that pay the players?
No, not in terms of a salary.
All right, greetings, sports fans. Welcome back to another episode of Edivision TV, and it's all about interview. And today, joining me is Mrs. Christina Hudson, and she is the chairperson of the recently formed Professional Women's Football Jamaica Limited. That's the PWFJL.
Yes.
Christine, how are you doing? How are you?
Hi, Eddie. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And again, thanks for joining me.
Yes.
We're going to dive into some football tonight. So first of all, though, how did you get involved in football?
It's kind of a hard question. How did I get involved at this level? Really, I
Yeah.
have no idea. So, my son, he plays at the youth level. He's only 9. So, I guess I started
Mhm.
getting involved. I am the parent manager for his club team. And then I was also helping to manage his school team. And so I started, I guess, making connections with other people in the football space that way. Um, and unfortunately for me, I guess they say that good work gives you more work. So I guess I think people saw that I was passionate about trying to improve what we saw was going on. And so Mr. Rudolph Speed, as well as Carlene Edwards. Everyone knows Mr. Speed now. He's very famous for his famous Cavaliers team.
Yeah.
But he, along with Carlene, who is the head of club licensing for Jamaica, I am a fellow soccer mom with Carlene. So they came to me and asked me if I, would be willing to chair this company, which would then
Hmm.
take over the Jamaica Women's Premier League. And honestly, at first, I was kind of hesitant and I didn't know, my
Hmm.
background is not in football at all. But I decided that, if my goal in life is to really make a difference and to help improve the lives of as many Jamaicans as possible, then I had to give it a shot. So here I am.
Yes, and we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
You spoke a little bit about your background. It's very different from football. Could you tell us what you? And I know you wear a lot of hats as well.
Yes. Okay. So I am an executive at the Stewart's Automotive Group. I have been, working in business at a very high level for 13, 14 years. I also head the foundation for the company, the Richard and Diana Stewart Foundation, as well as the Kind Hearts Foundation. So
Hmm.
I'm instrumental in fundraising and planning and executing the projects that the foundation does. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. It's been what three game weeks, three game weeks now in the in the
Yes.
in the league. How has that been so far for you? I know that you're at the games and so, but how is it? Atmosphere and all.
It's actually been amazing to see the planning actually come to life. Especially on our launch day, we had a double header at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex, and the turnout was amazing. We had over 100 people.
Wow.
After people were coming up to me being like, Christina, we have not had this much media attention for the entire season last year that they saw just that one game. Um, and the games themselves, the level of playing that we're seeing, it's exciting, it's good for the spectators, it's good for the girls to
Mm-hmm.
be getting this level of exposure. And also the level hasn't dropped. So, obviously week 1, we're coming out full force, but even week 2 and week 3, we're still maintaining that momentum. So it's been exciting to see.
That's good. That's good. And I wanted to ask about the turnout, but you mentioned the turnout. So does the double header that helps, right, in terms of bringing out
Yes.
the crowd?
Yes. So we are being very strategic in how, we try to organize those, because we're trying to bring a different level of execution. So we want the spectator experience to be of a very high level. This being our first season, we obviously have budgetary restraints. So we're not able to do as much as, we would love to do, but we're trying to maximize what we can do when we can do it. So right now, we are planning that every other week we're going to try to organize a double header somewhere, so that one, we can have more than one game live stream, but also we can, do some sponsor based activations at those double headers, so the spectators get to enjoy what we're doing. And also the sponsors, will get some visibility and get to interact with the crowds. So far it's been really good. Next week, not this Saturday coming, but the following Saturday, we'll have another double header. Details to be released. So everybody stay tuned on our Instagram page.
All right. You're doing well to help me with the segue, because the next question was about sponsorship. Um,
Okay.
how is that going so far for you guys?
So what I would like to remind everyone is that we only had a month and a half before we launched, actually hit the ground to get our
Mm,
sponsorships. So when you take that into account and our very short timeline, I think that we are doing really, really well. We have Hummel Jamaica came on board as our official kit sponsor. So you can
right.
see all of the girls are out in a very professional looking kit, because Hummel, organized that each team got home and away kits. So they got 2 sets of gears for all of their players. We have
Mm-hmm.
KFC, Jamaica, who have come on in a big way. The Wisinko group have, rehydration sponsor through water and
Right.
Powerade. So we're actually giving those products to the clubs. We have Supreme Ventures. We have Valvoline. I'm gonna be in trouble if I forget somebody. But yeah, no. And what was really good about what we have been able to accomplish so far, Sherwin Williams, can't forget Sherwin Williams. But what is
Mm-hmm.
really good about the sponsors that we have brought on board this year is that every single one sees the vision, and they, are interested in long-term partnerships. It's not just about this first season. This is like the testing phase, but really next season, when we have a longer time to plan, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
even better. And we already have more sponsors interested when they can see what the level of execution and what we're able to deliver. I'm confident that next season is going to be even better than what we've achieved so far.
Yeah, good. And speaking about vision, what are your plans for the women's game in Jamaica?
Ah, that's such a broad question. So the number one goal is
Mm-hmm.
eventually to have the women players paid a salary or a stipend, and make it a truly professional league. There are obviously a lot of roadblocks to make that happen. The women's teams are kind of underfunded at the moment, and that's obviously a huge cost. But as we bring this, level of visibility that they've never seen before, and the media attention, we're hoping that the individual teams will be able to attract their own sponsorship. And really, what is the plan also is PWFJL. We are not running as a profit organization, it's a not for profit. So anything that we are able to secure that we don't spend during the year, the idea eventually is to pump that back into the clubs.
Into the clubs,
So,
yeah.
so I know that's not realistic in year one, but that is the ultimate goal. We also have plans that will start this year. We just haven't finalized the timing, because the season is a long, it's a busy a busy season with games every week. So we haven't scheduled it yet, but we will be doing capacity building workshops. So what does that look like? That is, we're going to have workshops with the individual players themselves. We're going to have workshops with coaches, and we're going to have workshops with club administration. So for our players, this is something that has never been done before. And as far as I know, I don't even think they do it on the men's side, but workshop to help our females bring themselves personally to the next level. Things like financial literacy, media training, just professional development. There are so many opportunities for women footballers. Even something as simple as like a college scholarship, a university scholarship. But in order for us to be eligible for those, we need to understand, how do we market ourselves? How do we behave on and off the pitch? You have
Mm-hmm.
to be a certain level for these types of people to want you to be a part of their team. So a lot of our players, may come from disadvantaged backgrounds or inner city communities. They have never been exposed to this type of discussion before. So it's very important to us that we're going to bring that level of development to our players. And I mean, like media training, it sounds very simple, but it's not that easy. After a game, maybe you've lost and emotions are high. How do you not react to certain questions that you might be asked? How do you still hold your composure? And these are things that, as a professional athlete, you really have to understand. And of course, financial literacy, I don't think I have to say anything about that. It's quite obvious. You don't want to get one big check and then all of a sudden you spend it all. And, sports is not a forever career. It has a time limit. So you also have to understand how you're going to manage yourself for the long term to take care of your families. Coaches training, we have been in discussions with CONCACAF. They already did, I think it was level B training in December. So we're on that track to continue, specifically geared towards female coaches and men who are coaching women's teams specifically. Our dream would be that each Premier League team has at least one female coach or even an assistant coach working with them, just to help, we really want to help develop our women. And then the club administration, Carlene Edwards, she's been instrumental in getting the club licensing off the ground on the men's side. That is not a requirement currently for the female side, but it will be eventually. So how can we help our clubs be prepared for when that happens? So I have been talking a lot, but really, we're really trying to just bring the Jamaica Women's Premier League to the next level in all aspects of what we're doing.
So just for clarity, you mentioned earlier, so the girls are not being paid. Are there any clubs that pay their players?
No, not in terms of a salary. What I know is that there are certain things that the clubs do take care of for their players. Obviously, like transportation and meals, but there is no club that pays a salary. There are complications with that as well, because the age of our players is quite mixed. And for anyone who would be potentially looking, to go to on a university scholarship, they're not allowed to be played because you can't be professional level and then go to that level. So it's something that I think needs a further discussion, but it's definitely something
Definitely.
that we want to go. And even if it's not a salary, some sort of stipend to
Definitely.
help. Yeah. So that's what we're trying. That will be our next discussion and goal as we go forward.
Okay. Is there a marketing arm?
Yes. So that is, I
Okay.
guess, the main, but well, main second, I guess it's kind of mixed in with getting the sponsorship, but that
Mm-hmm.
was really one of our main goals, or what's the right word? Main targets, something. We were given that job is to market the league.
Okay.
The marketing arm of it is super important because that's really where your sponsors get their value. The more marketable that we are, the more visibility that the league gets, is the more likely that we are able to bring on sponsors.
Are you confident that you'll be able to create the model that is used by the JPL?
I hope so.
And I know that's a dream. Yeah. To recreate that somewhat.
So that's the dream, and I think that if we are given the time, it will happen for sure. It's not going to happen in 1 year, but
Yeah.
I think that women's football is like one of the fastest growing sports. There's a lot of momentum behind it. There's a lot of support, even from CONCACAF and the FIFA side. There's opportunities for us to access support and funding. So I believe that the Jamaica Women's Premier League can definitely match the men's side eventually.
Mhm. And I know you have to remain objective, but in terms of what are some of some of the big teams? Who are some of the big teams or big players that fans can come out and watch?
All of our teams are great. You
All
should
the
come
teams
and
that
watch all of our teams. But we do have Frasier's Whip, who are the
pressures
defending
with defending,
champions,
right, right.
who did,
They went to
they went
CONCACAF. Yes,
absolutely,
yes, yes.
absolutely. And right now they're undefeated so far going into week 4. So
Mm-hmm.
I think they're definitely one to watch again
One
for
to
this
watch.
year.
Okay, that's good. Um, what type of league is it? What would you say? Is it a development league? I know you mentioned, getting scholarships to go abroad. Um, would you call it that, a development league, to push players abroad, get scholarship or get contracts abroad?
I think so. For now, until it can become a truly professional league.
Mm,
Um, One of the challenges that we have in women's football in Jamaica is that there is not a properly tiered structure, right? So, what I mean by that is you have schoolgirl football, and then you have the Jamaica Women's Premier League. There's no in between, there's no tier two. So, it makes it,
mm,
quite difficult to manage or say it's a professional league, because we actually have teams right now that have players as young as, I think, 13 years old that are assigned to their clubs. But a 13-year-old and a 20 or a 30-year-old player, it's not, they really shouldn't be playing together.
yeah, levels.
So
Yeah.
until we kind of build out a proper women's system in Jamaica, I guess you would say that we're working on the development of that.
I know it's difficult to for the league in terms of the turnout, because for some reason the women's game don't get a lot of attention, don't get a lot of love. We see with even the Reggae Girls back to back World Cups, they play in a national stadium is not, I was there, is not full, not a full stadium. Um, Thoughts on that, and what can we do to improve the women's game in your eyes?
Do you know that I was actually told that some of our games last weekend actually had more turnout than the men's games in the
Than the
JPL?
JPL? Oh,
Absolutely.
okay,
So
you're on your way then, you're on your way.
So I really think it's just getting the communities involved,
Mm,
understanding that we have a good product, the games are exciting. It's we're bringing a specific level. It's not a low level or something that would be boring. It's quite exciting. The girls are putting out a show every time that they go on the field. But yeah, I think the amount of marketing we're doing, especially on social media, the visibility, once people know more about what's going on, hopefully more people will come out. And as I said, maybe not every weekend, but at least every other weekend, we're going to be putting on those double headers. And when we have them, we do have sponsor activation. So, we have halftime giveaways and halftime like competitions, whether it's for the youth that are coming to watch, like a juggling competition or a shooting competition. We're doing these things to engage the audience. So hopefully, as they
mm,
see these things week in, week out, it'll continue to grow and garner more attention. So I don't think we're doing that badly, because maybe in the JPL side, people are coming out to the big name teams, but are they going to all the other games?
yeah, that's a good point. So Christina, tell the fans why they should come out and support the Jamaica Women's Premier League.
You should come out and support the Jamaica Women's Premier League, because our women are special. They have the talent, they're coming out, they're working hard, and they need the support to get to the next level. So come and support them. We have games across the island. It's not just in Kingston. So you can go on our social media page at JA Women's Premier League and see what's the closest venue to you on a Saturday, and come out and support the girls.
And where can they watch a game if they're not out there in person? What are the links?
So we have a YouTube page. You just go and search Jamaica Women's Premier League on YouTube.
All right. All right, fans. I guess that's it. So again, I would like to thank Mrs. Christina Hudson. Thank you very much, Mrs.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And again, she is the chairperson of the Professional Women's Football Jamaica Limited. All right. All right, folks. So you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Eddie Gona. She's Christina, and we're out.